So the nonprofit sector is absolutely central to the good work that gets done in Houston. And that's why this is such a great program, because it needs more vigorous and focused board members who come out of these communities, who understand the issues and the needs, to ensure that these organizations become even more effective and more efficient in their work. But Houston is a place for nonprofits. It's a place for philanthropy.
Nonprofit organizations help build and strengthen communities, which form the fabric of positive, healthy, and thriving societies. And programs like Project Blueprint are so important to the community because they help strengthen the foundations of these nonprofits themselves.
I was inspired to join really because Houston has given so much to me personally, born and raised in Houston, and knowing that there's a need for minority representation on boards, and especially during a pandemic, that demand does not go down just because we're shut down or we're meeting virtually.
I think this continued societal shift, right? I mean, I think all the activities over the last year, for sure, with whether it's George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all those things spark conversations and hopefully a bit of awareness around some of the continued systemic and challenges that we have. And I think what hopefully continues to come out of that is really a need for people to not only increase diversity, but also inclusion and also equity, right? So how do you increase the amount of different perspectives? It's not just ethnic diversity, it's gender, sexual orientation, etc. How do you increase diversity so you have a lot of all these different voices that can participate and add to the discussion? And then how do you make sure that not only do you have more people in the room, but also those people are engaged?
I really love the conversations that everyone's starting to have. Like you said, your companies are starting to change. I'm sure they were transitioning slowly, but it's starting to change more significantly. And we're starting to have these more open conversations. It's having people think differently, more open-mindedly, but it's opened up so many doors and people's minds to understand the different cultures and struggles. And that's why it's important to have the board reflect the people it represents. I can't get over that, saying that how impactful that meant to me and what I can bring to the table.
We're able to project our voice now. And I think that's really important in developing board members to, maybe they grew up in a culture where, keep your head down, right? But I think it's a wonderful thing that we're now, allowing people to become more open, to make their voices heard.
I was just thinking about what you said, Brian. I think one of the things that we've been talking about at work, but you hear a lot, is bringing your full self, right? Bringing your full self to whether it's work or whether it's to whatever space that you're in. And to do that, you have to have space to do it.
One of my favorite tools coming out of this was having an emotional intelligence coach with Sonia. Like that session to me was, cathartic.
One of the tools I found very interesting too is, I think it's very important for us to know Houston, the demographics, everything about Houston and how we're transitioning, what we used to be, what we are, and we're gonna be. So listening to Dr. Kleinberg, in a smaller group, like more one-on-one, because I heard his state of address, but listening to him and talk to us and answer our questions, it was like, wow. But to hear him speak saying, hey, what are we gonna do about it? I think that was really the most powerful message to me. Is like, what am I gonna do about it? I'm a Houstonian.
When I think about the information that I got over the weeks that we did these, our brown bags and our Wednesday evening sessions, it was great, right? It's a little bit kind of the answers to the test. Before I get involved, I could show up to a board with solid foundation that I probably wouldn't have come in with. And even though I have 20 plus years in business in all of these different areas, I haven't been involved at that level, at the governance level of a nonprofit. And so now I have that understanding, now I have that awareness, fiduciary responsibilities, all the things that we should expect, our nonprofits to have.
I was mostly approaching volunteer opportunities through the lens and scope of what my employer was doing. And in terms of volunteering, it was a very one-dimensional approach. And what Project Blueprint has provided is just really a multi-dimensional approach and a much clearer vision of what it is that I need to consider, looking at the maturity of the board. What does the onboarding process look like? What's the governance look like? All of these different factors.
I'm so passionate about some organizations that I'm just always there when they say volunteer. I'm always there. And so they're like, why don't you be on the board? And you're like, oh, I'm hesitant. I'm scared. And, that board particularly doesn't look like me, and it's intimidating. And I don't want to be intimidated. I wanted to take this course to be empowered to say, guess what? I know what's going on. I took the training. I'm ready. Let's go.
As a result of my Project Blueprint experience, I will be a more knowledgeable board member, as well as a more understanding board member as far as my roles and responsibilities are concerned. And I think one word, if I had to describe my Project Blueprint 39 classmates, would be amazing and extremely jovial about the mission that we have been tasked with before us and what we need to do moving forward.
Best way to describe my Project Blueprint Class 39 classmates would be a bunch of passionate, committed folks from different backgrounds who want to pay it forward, who want to do good for society.
Like when you come into Project Blueprint, I think that I had one mindset. It was kind of this. When I come out of it, I'm gonna be like, wow. So that's what I love about Project Blueprint. And then all these amazing people. Hi, everybody. You guys are so awesome.
One word that best describes my United Way Project Blueprint experience is enlightening.
Mindful.
Energizing.
Thought-provoking.
Inspiring.
It's gratifying.
Exhilaration, sense that, yes, this is the right place for me to be at this moment in the history of Houston and in my own life, and I can make a difference. And I think I wish that for all of us, but especially for the program of this sort. So we're tremendously grateful to you guys for being willing to do this and for your ambition, for your plans, for making that difference as we go forward. And we're all making a difference in various ways, but to do it more effectively, to do it with more skills, with more of a sense of what the opportunities and possibilities are.